today we will have our Geoguesser session. It's the third edition in X-Culture. Okay, what's the agenda? If it works. Okay, first we are going to have the presentation of 3 countries. Coaches are going to talk about their country and show some aspects of their culture. And then we will end with a small activity similar to Geoguesser, which is quite famous, but we will do that if you want to. Otherwise, we may end the session. Regarding the country which will be presented today, we will start with Ukraine, then go to China, and finish our trip in Pakistan. Okay, I think Maxim, you're the first one. Yeah.
Yes, so hey everyone, my name is Maxim Lavrev. I'm from Ukraine. Well, obviously, I'll be presenting about it right now, and I'm one of the academic coaches this semester. That's pretty much all you need to know. So let's begin. The next slide, please. Okay, so here's some general info about Ukraine. First of all, what you need to know is that the capital city of Ukraine is Kyiv. A pretty beautiful city. It's one of the most, it's the most populated city in Ukraine. So the population here is around 3 million people, while the population of the whole country is 37 million. It was around 43 million before the Russian invasion in Ukraine, but then unfortunately a lot of people left the country. So it's around 37 right now. Okay, so the country itself consists of 27 regions. 24 of them are called oblasti. These are the biggest chunks you can see on this map on the right. Then there is also an autonomous republic Crimea on the south, and 2 cities with special status. It's the Sevastopol and Kyiv, which is the capital city. So a fun fact is that Ukraine is actually considered the largest country in Europe if we don't count Russia, which is not fully located in this region. Then talking about the language, we actually have our own language, which is Ukrainian. And in fact, it's considered the second most melodic language in the world, before Italian. The history of Ukrainian literature dates back all the way to the 11th century. So that's when our ancestor country, Kievan Rus, was Christianized. Then people started writing a lot of religious texts, and that's when it's considered that Ukrainian literature was born. So the next slide, please.
Just a small question. I'm curious, in which region do you live?
I live in the northwest, so you can see Rivne, the blue one.
Oh yeah, okay, this one.
Yeah, so I actually live in the administrative center of the city. Like the city itself is called Rivne.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So let's actually go over some interesting facts and things about Ukraine. First of all, let's start with Ukrainian cuisine. So actually there are a lot of national dishes like vareniki, голубці, сирники, тертюхи, and all that. But the first one that will come to everyone Ukrainian's mind when you ask what is our national dish is red borscht. You can see it on the bottom of this image. Maybe not the best image that represents it, but yeah. So this is basically a soup. The main ingredient of it is always beetroot. That's why it has this red color. And usually we also use potatoes, some kind of meat like beef, and usually we also add sour cream. It actually tastes really good, and I just had it for my lunch. So you definitely got to try it sometimes in the future. Okay, so the next photo, here you can see a landscape, a beautiful landscape of Kyiv. So since the most popular religion in Ukraine is Eastern Orthodox Christianity, therefore you can see a complex of monasteries and churches. One of the biggest one in Ukraine, it's called Kyivo-Pечerska Lavra. Yes, so okay, the next photo. Here you can see one of our national dances. It's also the most common one. It's called hopak. So it was common when there were Cossacks, which are like Ukrainian warriors in the 17th century and around that time. And so this dance consists of a lot of acrobatics. They're honestly really difficult. So these are mostly jumps and spins, which are like the highlights of the dance. Really interesting one. I think you should definitely see it. Then the next photo, here you can see a field of sunflowers. And well, this photo does a really great job of representing one of versions of our, I mean, this is one of the versions that represents our flag. And actually why it's important is because Ukraine is the world's biggest producer of sunflower and also wheat and grains as a whole. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why our flag is blue and yellow. Then on the next two slides, you can see some of our national musical instruments. The first one is called trembita. It's a wind instrument. It's actually really long, so its length can vary from 2.5 meters to 8 meters. You can imagine how big it is. It's commonly used in the west of Ukraine, so these are where our mountains are, Carpathians, and like it's mostly used for communication between villages and people who, for example, pasture sheep, or it also can be used in different celebrations and maybe for signalizing certain time. I mean, it was used for these purposes earlier. Right now, it's more like of a cultural thing. And yeah. Also, the next instrument is called bandura. It's also probably the first one that will come to anyone Ukrainian's mind if we talk about national instruments of Ukraine. So it's a string instrument. Really, like it sounds really beautiful. I think you should also, I mean, should find a video and listen to it. But for now, it's pretty much it. So the next slide, please. Okay, so here are some more fun facts about Ukraine. The first one is that actually Ukraine is home to Easter eggs. So they were originally colored and patterned using wax and dye. And well, yeah, they were used to celebrate Easter. And they originate from Ukraine. And then the next fact is that the largest plane in the world was actually built in Ukraine. So it is famously known as Mriya, which means dream in English. Not the one when you sleep, but the one when you really want something. Yeah, so in this meaning. And you can see it has 6 turbofans. It's mostly used to transport different things, but people really like to come to the airport and see how it flies by. Unfortunately, when the war has started, it was destroyed by Russian rockets because they bombed one of the airports where it was located. So it was only like one copy of this plane. So right now there is no such plane, but the second version was actually started, from what I know, they started developing the second version before the war. So it's like around 60% completed. So hopefully we'll see the second version soon. Okay, so, and the next slide. So this is Vyshyvanka. It's our national costume in Ukraine. Basically, it's a traditional embroidered shirt. It like the name of this shirt basically means embroidered shirt. Yes, okay. And well, traditionally it was sewn of natural materials and embroidered with threads of various colors, mostly red and blue. However, you can find even black ones and violet and all the different colors. And actually, it's pretty common to use in everyday life. So it's still pretty relevant, and different fashion companies still make different versions of this clothing. So you can also see it on the picture. I personally think it looks really beautiful. And yes, that's pretty much it for my presentation of Ukraine. Hopefully you liked it. Maybe you have any questions?
Thank you so much for sharing about Ukraine. And I have a question regarding this
Sure.
typical, how you call this, blouse
Oh yeah.
clothes, typical Ukrainian clothes. Is it used for marriage as well? Like do the groom and bride
Uh,
dress like that?
Yes, usually we mostly use it for different celebrations as well. So things like marriage and we even have a national Vyshyvanka Day in Ukraine when everyone wears it. So it's not that common to see a person wearing Vyshyvanka in everyday life, but it's like some people wear it and it's actually really comfortable. So um, yes, I mean it's used for marriages, but it's not like um, compulsory, but it just looks like it gives this cultural feeling of
Yeah,
Ukraine. I think you get what I mean, right? So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's commonly used for different celebrations.
And do you own one?
Oh yeah, I do. I could actually show it, though
Oh,
probably
yeah,
not. Okay, 1 second, please.
no problem. Take your time.
Maxim actually also wore it when he was at the symposium in Lublin as well.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
This is also something to wear like to an event.
Oh yeah,
Was
actually,
he?
one of my friends that I met, who's from USA, he also wears it for everyday life. I was pretty surprised, but he like was in Ukraine, and then when he found out about Vyshyvankas, like he started wearing it because it's as you say, it's pretty comfortable. So here's okay. I'll turn off the blur. 1 second. Yes. So here's one.
Oh,
Yes. So
it's really. Oh,
it was actually sewn by my grandmother, and it's like
yeah.
a t-shirt one. I also have with full sleeves, long sleeves. I mean, but it's not like it's not available right now. Yes,
No problem. Thank you for sharing. This is a great, like a precious thing to keep in a culture. In Europe, in most countries, you don't have this anymore, like a typical cloth like this. So thank you so much for your presentation. And now we'll move to China with
sure. Thank you as
Lucy.
well.
Hi everyone. So I'm Lucy and I come from China. And today I'm going to give you guys a little bit of interesting things that you might know or might not about China. Right. So please, yeah, thank you. So about China, I think everybody knows China is like such a big country and it lies on the east part of the world. And the capital is in Beijing, like where I marked the star. And it consists of 34 provinces, autonomous regions, and municipals directly. Because it's quite complicated in China, we don't call it regions or something. They have like different kind of administrative levels for each place. So basically, it consists of these three types. And where I live is actually right at the south. You can see a little bit island, a little bit coming out. I just live right above there. Yeah. And also in China, we have 56 ethnic groups, and most people are Han. What the difference is actually how people look. Like Han people just look typically Chinese, and like the other ethnic groups, they kind of look a bit like European people, a little bit more. Yeah. And because China is such a big country, so the weather actually varies quite a lot throughout the country. So you can only see seasonal weathers in the north. But like in the south, especially where I live, it's mostly really hot and warm throughout the year. And you don't really feel like autumn is coming or something. You don't really see like yellow leaves or that. It's always green, even in the winter. Yeah. Okay, so please next page. Thank you. And I think one interesting thing is about how much tourism sceneries you can find in China. I think it's basically two perspectives. The first one is about the humanistic part, which is shown on the right side, the two pictures. It's like the right top picture is the Mogao cave, which is kind of in a deserty place. And it was built around 4,000 years ago or something. And it's mostly for Buddhism people who come here and like pray to their God and everything. And the other one is like in China, there are so many dynasties, and dynasty is like the empire, like one empire family. They would drive one dynasty, and when they die or when this dynasty pass on to another dynasty, when they're buried, they bury with a load of treasure and everything. And there was like one really interesting dynasty, which is Qing. And this empire, he actually built a whole army in his grave. And that is the picture like on the right bottom. So I think there's a lot of humanistic stuff you can see if you go on a tourism tour or something. And also on the left-hand side, I showed two really typical nature views. The first one is the Great Wall, which is really famous, and it lies in Beijing. It's super, super long. I've been up there once, and you can't really like walk through the whole part because it's so ancient and there are so many bits that are broken down and you can't really walk through. But it just lies on top of the mountains and it's so brilliant. Yeah, if you ever come to China, I do highly recommend you guys to have a go. And the other one is the Li River. It lies in the city where I live, is Guilin. And it's really beautiful, like not giant mountains, but like hills. And there's a river called Li. It flows through the hills and everything. And it's super beautiful and really chilling. And it's really nice place for summer because it's cool. Yeah. Okay. Next page, please. And the other part I really want to share is the delicious cuisines. So in China, there's actually 8 types of typical cuisine dishes, and they have a typical taste for each type. And I'm not gonna make this so complicated. So basically, it's like really sweet, like the left top picture. It's a dish called Dongpo pork, and it's really sweet pork. And it's like cooked in a wok for 5 hours or something. So the meat is really juicy, sweet, and tender. And another type is like with loads of chili, and there are like 2 regions, which is damp and wet. The people living there really needs chili to like make them feel comfortable and prevent them from illness and everything. So their cuisines are like really hot with loads of chili. And one typical dish is the fish head. Yeah, it's quite strange. Like Chinese people just eat everything, but the fish head with loads of chili is one typical dish. And also, I think you guys should have heard of it before. Like hot pot is also a really traditional dish as well. And when we come to the south part of China, the dishes become more delicate. And I put a picture up there. It's called dim sum. Hong Kong people like it as well, and Guangdong people like it as well. It's like really delicate and small dishes. It's mostly like brunch in the west part of the world. Like you eat it on the weekend or something. You like wake up late and then you go out with somebody, you drink some tea and have some dim sum. It's something like that. Yeah. So I think the delicious cuisines is really important part of the Chinese culture because Chinese people really like to cook and they can like cook really complicated dishes. Yeah. And please, next page. Thank you. And I just want to give out like 2 fun facts regarding to history. Like, so panda, I think everyone's heard about panda. It's one of the symbols of China, and also it's really famous because of the Panda Kung Fu movie. Yeah. So actually China is the only country that originate pandas. Like all the pandas you can see around the world, they are borrowed from China. So they have to come back like after borrowing out for 2 years or 20 years or something. And also panda, they come from the same time of dinosaurs. So even though they are mammals, and you might think there's a lot of panda around, but actually there's not over 200 pandas in the world. So they're really precious species. And also, the second fun fact is about the high-speed railway. I don't know if you guys heard about this joke before, like China can build a bridge across the sea like within one night. It's not a joke. It's not funny. It's actually a fact. Like Chinese people, they just work so hard sometimes and get things done in such a quick speed. So there's over like 200,000 kilometers of railway track by now in China. And you can like go across the country from the capital. It's like in a north part of China, and you can go right to the bottom like within 5 hours or something. It's super fast. So I think high-speed railway is something really stunning the world from China, and I think it's quite interesting because you would never imagine that you would be able to like go across the country so fast, and you don't have to jump on a plane. So yeah, these are the fun facts. Do you have any questions, or if you are interested in anything you want me to explain more about?
You mentioned a lot of different foods. Do you have any favorites?
Oh, so like I'm from a damp and wet place because we have that Li River running through our country. So actually I eat a lot of hot dishes as well. I like chili. I like food with chili. And I do really, really, really like hot pot.
Awesome. I'm already getting hungry after all your stories about foods.
Oh, great. It's like really delicious. So if you ever go into a Chinese restaurant or something, just have a try at whatever you like. Chinese dishes are just so great.
But I think the problem is like the reputation. I think at least in Europe there is this, you avoid China food because there have been some problem with the hygienic things in the kitchen, and now everyone is like so afraid. But what you've shown me really like makes me want to try it. But here, for example, in Belgium, I never go to a Chinese restaurant because of this. Maybe it's a stereotype that Chinese kitchens are very like, they don't respect the European hygienic restrictions. And that's unfortunate because I'm sure that there are some really good restaurants out there which respect those things, but because of this like stereotype, no one's really go there.
I know, like I think it's because like China is still a developing country, and we've only been growing really fast in the past 30 years. So the education level and the awareness level of Chinese people, I can't say everyone, but the average is still below the developed countries. That's a fact. I'm not like being biased or anything, but that's a fact. So there are some regulations and restrictions that a lot of people don't really understand and follow. I think that's not their fault because they're not well educated and they don't really know the importance behind it. But I think this is going to be better in the future, and especially for younger generations like us. So hopefully one day you will find a brilliant Chinese restaurant and go in and try anything you want.
Yeah. I think in the Netherlands it is. I have been to Chinese restaurants. However, a lot of the food is altered to the Dutch taste palette.
Yeah.
So, which I also think is, on the one hand, it's interesting that they still share the dishes. On the other hand, it's kind of also sad that it has to be changed to the Dutch taste palette for these restaurants to run. And you do see in bigger cities like more authentic restaurants, and they are also thriving. So yeah, I really want to try hot pots. We don't really have a space to try
Yeah.
that in my city, but in Amsterdam I surely could find something.
Yeah, if you ever have a chance, please go. I really recommend it.
Yes, I will. And maybe I should just visit China and then also try the food there. That might be a better option.
That's the best
Yeah.
option. Okay,
I
thank.
don't,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
sorry. I don't have a question, but there's like something I would like to add. So, as a part of my degree, I'm learning the Chinese language. And at first, I thought it was like super hard. And I was like, how am I going to learn the Chinese language? But as I'm learning into it, I find it really interesting. And the Chinese characters and everything, I found that they're like more visuals if you like look at it into that perspective. So, it's easier to understand that way. But generally, I really like Chinese history, and I've always wanted to visit the Great Wall of China. So yeah, I loved your presentation.
Thank you so much. I mean, the characters, there are like over 5,000 characters in China, and each character have 3 or 4 meanings, so it's actually quite a difficult language. And people have always been curious, like, why do I type in letters? It's because like Chinese presentation, the pronunciation and the characters, they are differentiated. So it's quite confusing, but you can reach out to me if you want, and if you ever come to China, please come and visit.
I would love to reach out to you because sometimes I do have difficulty in my Chinese homework, so I will probably reach out to you.
Yeah,
Like
I'm
the other
here.
day, my teacher asked me to find out my Chinese name, and I was like, how am I going to do that? But I did manage to do that. It would be a lot easier if I had someone from China actually guide me. But yeah,
Well, yeah, good luck to you, and I'm always here. Right.
thank you.
Shall we move on?
Actually
Yes, we
have
can. Sorry, go ahead.
just thank you. Okay, just a little question about the high-speed railways. I was just wondering if it's already in the public use.
Yes, it's been in the public use for over 10 years, but they're like
Oh,
building more and more and more.
that's
There are
cool.
like 4 stations in one city, like even really small remote towns, they have a station for high-speed railway. So it's like across the country, you can jump on it. It's just like a subway to me.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like so cheap, so convenient, and so amazing.
We need
I
this
see
in
this. That is honestly really cool.
Okay, so thank you so much for sharing about China, Lucy. And now we'll move to Pakistan with Malaika.
Hello everyone. I'm from Pakistan. My name is Malaika Khan. Can you move on to the next slide? Thank you. Okay, so Pakistan is a very diverse country. It has over 75 languages and 15 different cultures. So on average, you'll find people knowing about 3 languages. Urdu is our national language, and then we have English, and then people will know their own mother tongue. So for example, I know English, Urdu, and then my mother tongue, which is Pashto. So it is also one of the most geographically diverse country. We have the second highest mountain here, which is K2, also the deadliest mountain. You'll see K2 here, this mountain peak, that's K2. And the capital is Islamabad. So just above that, you'll see Islamabad. And this is like the view from a hill. And Marhor is our national animal, which is this goat that you can find in the mountainous regions. Hockey is our national sport, and then we have jasmine as our national flower. Can you move on to the next slide? Okay, so like I said, Pakistan is a geographically very diverse country. In the first photo, you'll see the world's highest ATM machine, which is located in Pakistan. And in the second photo, you can see we have a cold desert. We have like one of the largest cold desert here, which is basically just a desert in the middle of mountains. And it's a very interesting place. And then we have Kashmir, which is a very green and beautiful area. The Hunza Valley, it is known for its cherry blossom trees. We also have, during the spring season, we have cherry blossom trees in my city too. And then this is another snowy area we have. This is called Savat, and that is the Cholistan Desert. So it is, we have pretty much all of the landscapes here. And you move on to the next slide.
Yes, I just have a question regarding like the desert, which is in the mountains. Does it really look like this? Because when you look at it, it looks like maybe a video game or something. It's
Yeah.
like really good, but
It really does look like that. In fact, it even snows on it. So like sometime in the winter, you'll see, I'll send you a picture later. You can see snow on the desert. It's very interesting. It's a very beautiful place.
oh, that's so great. I want to see it with my eyes now.
I plan on going there in the summer, so
Oh, send pictures.
I will. Okay, so since Pakistan is a very culturally diverse country, I cannot share all of the cultures here, so I'll just share my culture. I'm from the Pashtun region, which is the northwestern area of Pakistan. Over here in the first picture, we have our regional dance, which is called Atan. And then in the second picture, we have, you can see the rice, which is called kabli pulao, which is also my favorite dish. And then Pashtun people, we like to eat a lot of meat. So we like to have green tea afterwards to digest all of the meat that we just had. And this is called naan. In the picture below, you'll see this bread like food. It's called naan. And then we have kebab. We eat a lot of kebabs. And this is called this is our dress, our cultural dress that we like to wear. And yeah, that's all of it. So does anyone have any questions or any?
I really like the dress. Is this the only color, or do you have like various colors for it?
No, we have very colorful dresses. If you can like see in the first picture, you'll see many different colors. So
Oh yeah. Oh, it looks
generally
really
it's in
amazing.
like it's green and orange and very bright colors.
It looks really cool. I really like it.
Thank you.
Do you have one like this?
I do, but it's like very far away. I will not be able
no worries.
to bring
No
it over
worries.
here. But yeah, we like generally we like to wear our cultural dresses, and it's very common in Pakistan to wear your national dress on a day-to-day basis.
Oh,
So yeah.
so you can go to work like this?
Yeah, it's no, not like this.
Oh.
Not like this. But, we have another dress which is called shalwar kameez. It's toned down version of this. But yeah, you can go ahead and wear that to work. So I think it's very interesting because like usually shalwar kameez has a lot of like floral patterns on it, and you know you usually go to work wearing a lot of neutrals and
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
so
true.
like it's completely fine over here. You can go wear that to work.
Oh, that's so cool. That's
Yeah.
really cool. Okay, thank you so much for sharing about Pakistan. Are there any other questions for Malaika, Lucy, or even Maxim? Seems like not. So, what we planned after this little presentation was to do a city guesser activity. However, are you still up for this since you're only 2 students and we need you to join in order to do the activity? So if you are in, could you like I don't know if you have this functionality, but could you just a thumbs up on the screen, like that is one, or even no, in the chat, you know, that's easier and we don't find this times of wherever it is. So I know if we can do the activity or not.
While we wait, I want to say I really enjoyed all of your presentations and what you
Yeah.
shared, all the different cultures. Really good job today, guys. It's really interesting. I really loved it.
Definitely agree.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
Did a very good job.
Thank you. Really interesting sharing.
Thank you. Okay, so it seems like we only have one student left. I don't know if what I said scared the other one, but should we do the activity or should we like just have a maybe Q&A session and then end?
Yeah, I think maybe
Okay.
do a Q&A session and end.
Okay. So Belen, I hope I'm not mispronouncing your name. Do you have any question, whether it is about the presentation that you just saw or your team or the work that something that you're working on, whatever?
Hi.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you for replying. Then I think that if there is nothing more, we can end the session here. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact your coaches or just send a message on the Telegram group. Coaches and Luisa, do you have maybe something else to add?
No, it's all good for me.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Have a
And I
great
think,
day, everybody. Thank you for
yeah.
joining.